Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
Now, so let's talk about the breaking news you just brought up. This is when this is when I spend time with you. Then I'm like, hey, calm down, everybody, because they're going to be able to remove Fani Willis. They're going to be able to defund the DOJ, and here we go. Kemp says a special session to remove DA Willis from election investigation will not happen. So, talk to us about that first of all.
Yeah, I know that there was some speculation about that, a lot of concern, people kind of stirring up the fear pot a little bit, particularly on legacy media. But, that's why we listen to shows like Steph Miller or people like Terry Canfield or maybe me, yes, who say, look, there's a lot of different ways that this has to go about. Even if it did happen, this wouldn't happen, and it's not going to happen. Do you think Brian Kemp is in a really good working relationship with Donald Trump these days? It's simply not going to happen. And here we have the evidence of that. Being reasonable doesn't get as many clicks and eyes, but it usually puts you on the right side of the equation.
Well, and all this we're going to shut the government down. We're going to defund the DOJ. We're going to... No. Everybody has to keep saying no. You are not, as because of the Speedy Trial Act, like Joyce Vance and others say, you cannot... the Justice Department, these trials are not going to stop, right? I mean, this is what I think, well, you saw it. We just had Elie Mystal on, and he envisions a future where you yell shame, shame, shame at him as he has to admit that he was wrong to Judge Chutkan, whose courtroom you were in this week.
Yes, that was a really fascinating little bit of history to take part in, sitting just 15 feet away from Jack Smith. By the way, we made eye contact.
Ooh.
He gave me a little, for a while, and then he gave me a little sup.
I bet he listens to your show.
This is a jingle and a sup from Jack Smith.
Yeah.
Actually, probably it's not that he listens to my show. It's probably that his 6 security guards were like, that's the crazy lady who does a podcast only about you, so watch out for her specifically.
Your name's in the podcast.
She got Bob Mueller tattooed on her body, so just be careful.
But it is interesting because we just talk about like Ellie and I are Veruca Salt, and then I have you on and you calm me down. But it is really like people are saying, they're like, wow, black ladies are holding Trump to account in a way we've never seen before between Fani Willis and Judge Chutkan. I mean, I thought of you with Fani Willis in particular because we were all like, why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? It's on tape. It's on tape. And then you think, oh, well, that's why, because she's ready to roll. She's just not ready to indict. She's ready to try all these mother right now, right?
Yeah, and let's not leave New York Attorney General Tish James out of this either with her new filing. Her trial date is this October, so he's got a busy dance card, and I'm here for it. I love it, and I love Elie Mystal. I want everybody to know that he and I are good friends, and
he loves you too.
He has taught me so much over these years, particularly with his book, Black Guy's Guide to the Constitution, Allow Me to Retort, which is one of the coolest book names ever. Yeah. So I just wanted to put that out there, and because when we had that little Twitter back and forth, there were people like attacking him or attacking me, and I'm like, y'all, we're winning.
Right.
Take the W.
Right. No, and he's like, he couldn't be happier to be wrong about, and I think he's still saying, I get what he's saying, that Trump wouldn't be in jail before, because of appeals, but, that he didn't honestly think we'd even get to this point where he would be tried. So, you mentioned Tish James, just to talk about that, because that also does feel justice-y. Because this all his old tricks, as I've been saying, Allison, are not working anymore. A New York State Supreme Court judge yesterday ruled banks and insurance companies can't conceal documents in connection with a lawsuit that alleges the Trump organization inflated assets. So all the tricks he's used to hide behind all these years. So he fraudulently inflated his net worth between $812 million to $2.2 billion each year since 2011, the New York Attorney General said in an unsealed court filing. It is so interesting, Allison. There's so much going on that, you feel like you literally have to say, which criming are you talking about? Mm-hmm. But this is also, you're right, a big deal, what's happening with Tish James, right?
Yeah, a $250 million fraud suit. She's asking for partial summary judgment. And we sort of got that in the Ruby Freeman Shea Moss thing with Rudy Giuliani, right? Where the judge was like, you suck so bad at this, Rudy, that I'm finding in favor of the two. We're still going to trial, but the only reason is to figure out how much money you owe them. So it's coming down to just bad lawyering and bad criming coming up, and the chickens are all coming home to roost, as they say. And I'm here for it. And I'm glad that we're both here for it, because we've been waiting for a very long time.
I'll say. So here's the other question we've been talking about that Andrew Weissman tweeted about. What is Rudy hiding in discovery that is obviously so bad that he, that would allow this to happen?
Yeah, and it's not just Rudy, right? There's a footnote in that decision from Beryl Howell in that 57-page decision where Bernard Carrick, Catherine Freese in Georgia, and Jenna Ellis have all flaunted, or not flaunted, what is that word when you try to make an end run around something? They've just been jerks about it and ignored the discovery process. So this is seemingly a concerted effort on the part of these co-conspirators to keep this. It's evidence that they knew that they were full of BS. Right, is what it is. It's documentary evidence that there was no voter fraud and that they were breaking the law. That's what it is. They all have it, and they are doing all the pulling all the tricks in the book to try to prevent it from going over, including being found liable in this huge defamation suit that's going to carry some hefty damages with it.
Yeah. So you tweeted, I'm keeping a close eye on the curious case of Harrison Floyd. According to public reporting and court filings, he was arrested earlier this year for assaulting an FBI agent while being served with a federal grand jury subpoena in the Jack Smith probe. We were just saying, so he immediately goes on Steve Bannon's podcast. Bannon says, why is it taking so long to get out of jail? He said, I'm a black man. I don't know if I can say much more. So he plays the race card when obviously, as you said, he was arrested previously. That's why, right?
Yeah, and not only that, but Fani Willis called him on Friday. Fani Willis called him Friday when he surrendered and offered him a consent bond, and he refused. And she has that phone call on tape.
Yeah.
So, because she knew he was going to try to pull some shenanigans.
Yeah.
And also, Trevion Akuti is also black and was not kept in jail all weekend.
Right.
And to compare yourself to actual people who are wrongfully housed at that terrible jail in horrific conditions in our two-tiered system of justice is beyond the pale. He did it in the courtroom with Judge Chutkin, where he compared himself to the 9 black men who were charged with raping a white woman in the 1930s. And they said, we're being persecuted just like them. They were arrested, arraigned, and tried within 6 days. Their trial started. And Trump is saying 7 months is just like that. And I have a bunch of team of fancy white 7-figure white law firm, white shoe firm lawyers. But we're just like those guys. Yeah. It's blows my mind.
Yeah. No, it is. You say it really well, Allison, that it's like, bad criming meets bad lawyering. I mean, I keep saying, why do all these people keep going on TV and podcasts and making it worse for themselves? Like this guy, he doubled down. He said to keep it frank and simple, Fulton County fumbled the cover up, and I'm aware of what transpired. And they're trying to put pressure on me and others to make sure the truth doesn't come out. And the truth has a way of finding its way to the surface. So I'm going to be look forward to being down there and fighting the devil in Georgia, referring to Fani Willis. I mean, these people. John Eastman just went on TV, just chatty.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, go ahead.
He basically said, I totally tried to delay the electoral count.
Right.
Like we knew, but thanks for the extra evidence.
Right. I mean, there's, what's his crankpot? Peter Navarro losing a battle with cardboard yesterday, but still out there talking his, right? I did love that he just was not able to.
Weird. I was in the courtroom where he was. He wouldn't sit in the witness stand. He wanted to stand up, and he would walk around, and then the lawyer would be like, "Can you see this? This display of evidence I put up on the screen?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Great, read from it." And he's like, "Well, it's too far away to read." And he would just do this weird And then he would walk up to it and then walk away and like have his pen in his mouth and walk up to it and then like read part of it, but be like, it says, and then he'd walk away again. Like he's just this weird dude who doesn't give a straight answer because he's guilty AF and he knows
Yeah.
it.
I the first time I saw him on Ari Melber, my jaw dropped. I'm like, oh my God, what is this guy? Is like this football coach on crack talking about what do they call it? The Green Bay sweep. And then, Ari, I'm like, oh my God, did he just admit all these crimes on live television? I'm like, yes, he did.
Ari said it too. Ari was like, that's a coup, bro.
Right. I'm trying to help you here, right? Yeah, I love that they go on MSNBC for free legal advice. I remember, what's his name? The sweet Maya Wiley was like...
Nunberg, Sam Nunberg.
She's like, I don't think you want to do that. I think you want to go home with your family for Thanksgiving, don't you? I don't think you want to defy the subpoena.
You don't want to not show up for your subpoena. You really probably want to do that. And now we have Navarro. It's funny you bring that up because the reason that he's in court is because he failed to show up for a subpoena. And now that he's there, and Nunberg could have been there.
Yeah.
So Maya Wiley giving out the free legal advice. And by the way, the word is flouts, not flaunts.
Thank you.
Shout out to Tom Pryor for pointing that out.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I just love that Peter Navarro could not win a battle with a skinny white girl and a piece of cardboard, and he thinks he's going to win in court, which is hilarious.
You've already been charged, bro. You want more? You want some more? Go ahead. Keep touching
me. Talking. Yeah, you said Judge Mehta denies Navarro's weak sauce motion to dismiss his criminal contempt count. Trial begins 9/5, the same day as the Proud Boys sentencing. So yesterday we found out it was the judge took ill, was why Enrico Tarrio was not sentenced. But, these are going to happen, and they're significant sentences, right? We're talking about like around 30 years for all of them, aren't we?
The Proud Boys now. Well, are you talking about Navarro still?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Proud Boys and Enrico Tarrio and all. Yeah.
Yeah, because Navarro's only facing a couple months. But Proud Boys, they're in the courtroom right now. I keep refreshing it for my friends who are there. But it looks like Judge Kelly, who is a Trump-appointed judge, has applied the terrorism enhancement, has applied a couple other of enhancements. He looks like he's back on the bench and about to sentence Joe Biggs, who is also up for 27 to 33 years. These would be the longest sentences. The record right now is Stuart Rhodes with 18 years, and Merrick Garland is going to appeal that sentence because he says it was too short.
Yeah. We're keeping an eye out for that one. Come on, Chris, don't you made me do that. What?
Well, why'd you say that?
Because he only has
one good eye.
Okay. We feel like that's okay because he's a right-wing gun
nut.
He
shot his own eye out.
Shot his own eye out. So anyway, but I don't, again, Allison, I'm not a lawyer, but if these people are all convicted of seditious conspiracy, I don't see how it follows that the ringleader, that Donald Trump, will not ultimately be convicted.
Right, and I think that that's also why Merrick Garland wants to appeal those shorter sentences, because when you end up sentencing Donald Trump for a like crime, like a similar crime that's similarly situated, you have to, per the sentencing guidelines, show other people who have been, convicted of obstructing an official proceeding, which Donald Trump is charged with by Jack Smith. And Merrick Garland wants to ensure that if, the 18-year sentence stands and he wants 30 years for Donald Trump, he can't make that connection.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just did the
see, I think they're going to be selling the house next to me. So in real estate, it's called comp. So it's like that terrorist got this here next to you, and then this other terrorist that is next to you, you did this thing.
Right.
So I want to move in next door. Are they really moving?
I believe so.
Yeah,
it looks
like it's going to be for sale. They're fixing it up.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, move next door. Oh my God, it would be such a wacky sitcom.
Oh my God, you'd make a compound.
Oh, shenanigans would ensue.
What's it going for? Like $100,000?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let me check. Let me check Zillow.
Yeah.
Donald Trump says 11 billion. Okay.
Right.
I was saying that. Don't you think that he's like the worst negotiator? Like he told his lawyers, ask for the year 11 billion, like 11 billion years from now, and then they'll come in the middle. It's like, no, that's not how Judge Chutkan's going to roll. She's not going to go, oh, well, that's reasonable. Okay, let's put it in the middle. Their requests are so unreasonable, right? It's like if you tried to do that in real estate, it's like, my house is worth 11 billion. It's like, no, it's not. Zillow says it's worth whatever. You can't negotiate like that in a courtroom. Like, oh, well, so it ended up being closer to what Jack Smith asked for, right? Couple of months.
Yeah, that had to be so embarrassing for at least Todd Blanche. Lauro seems to embarrass himself every chance he gets, but to ask for a 2026 trial date, and the judge was like, "You're not getting that. Like, no, there's just no way." But she said both are inappropriate. January is too soon. 2026 is too far. So she put a March trial date, which is what we had guessed she would do.
The Goldilocks ruling. There it is, my first drink of the day, ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Many of you know my story. I stopped drinking wine for 3 years during COVID, during the lockdown as part of a health reset. Now I drink wine in moderation, but this is an amazing new product. I've always believed in probiotics. And ZBiotics, check this out. You drink just one of these. It's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. I am using this and I feel great in the morning. I don't have to worry if I have an extra glass of wine, I still feel great in the morning. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. I've always had acid reflux problems. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. ZBiotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. All I know is it works. It is ZBiotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic. Go to zbiotics.com/politicalvoices or scan the QR code on the screen right now.